Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show, Lemon Live at 5. I am grateful that you're here. I'm happy here. You're going to be happy that you're here too, because we have a fantastic show for you. By the way, as I say every time, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, memberships. That's what keeps us viable on these streaming streets out here and independent without the corporate overlords, where we can talk to people really candidly and not pull any punches. People like the great Eric Swalwell, Representative Eric Swalwell, who's serving California's 14th Congressional District. He joins us. And just in a moment, right after that, we're going to have our legends. Our legends are here. This is the Lemon Legends who will be joining us. And I'm sure they got a lot of questions for everything and lots of comments. And these are the folks at the highest tier of our membership. And we're so happy that you're here. First, though, to the Congressman. Congressman, I want to play something that you put out, and I agree with you, and then we'll talk. Here it is.
I should be working right now. I'm not. I should be voting right now. I'm not. I should be wearing a suit right now. I'm not. Why? Because Republicans have closed Congress. Republicans are in charge of Congress. Why would they want to close Congress? Let me explain. Every time Congress opens, they have to pass a rules package to set the rules for the week for debate. But Democrats have insisted that we will put in every rules package a vote to release the Epstein files. MAGA wants the files released because they don't trust Donald Trump. Democrats want the files released because we want the truth, and we stand with victims, and we want accountability for those who were harmed. So what have Republicans done? What have they decided to do? They have chosen the most insane path, not to have a vote to release the files, not to have a vote to not release the files and let us know the names of the people who want to bury the files. No, they're just closing Congress. They would rather protect the names of child sex traffickers than to do their damn jobs and open up this building and legislate. That is crazy. Now, I know
it is crazy. Okay, that is crazy. And Eric Swalwell, thank you. We have Eric, and we're going to let him talk. That is crazy. You are right. Eric, what the hell is going on here? Why aren't you working?
I should be at work right now. I should be at the Capitol. I'm at my office in the Bay Area, but we're supposed to, work through July at least before Congress goes back home. And I've been doing this for 13 years, Don, and you work your ass off to achieve the majority. I've been in the majority for 4 of the 13 years, and that's when you really prioritize your legislative agenda. And you keep Congress open as long as you can, because there's always a risk that you could go into the minority. I've never seen a gang that has the gavels just shut down Congress, a Congress that they're in control of, to avoid something like they're doing with the Epstein files. And by the way, Mike Johnson, we talk about, they voted now out of the Oversight Committee to get the files. That vote didn't even have to happen. The Speaker of the House has subpoena power. He could just do it himself.
And he chose not to do it. We found out yesterday, not a surprise, not a shock, but people were surprised that it came out at the time that Donald Trump is actually mentioned in the Epstein files, right? We'd say, duh, we knew that, right? So I don't understand the hesitation if they think, well, just because he's mentioned, and that's what they've been saying, just because he's mentioned in the Epstein files doesn't mean that he is really guilty of doing anything. Okay, so then why not release him then if you believe in transparency? If you believe in transparency around Barack Obama, which is another fake, conspiracy theory, then why don't you believe in transparency as it relates to Donald Trump?
And I would just flip it a little bit. Like if I tweeted to the world that you, Don, had done something nefarious, like Elon tweeted at Trump and said, here's the nuclear, I'm dropping the nuclear bomb. He's in the Epstein files. If I said that about you, you would have a lawsuit at my desk within an hour for defamation.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, the most litigious person who's ever walked this earth, who will sue anybody for any reason, has not done that yet to Elon Musk. And then second, now that there are the Wall Street Journal reporting, there is now the reporting about Pam Bondi, there's the reporting about the birthday card. If it is all innocent and you can explain it away, like, why wouldn't you want that out there? And so Republicans, why wouldn't they want to clear their president's name as well? That's the part I don't get. And so he's just acting guilty, I guess. That's the way to sum it up.
I love to ask these questions because, if you asked me during the Trump years, because I've been doing this for a long time, when Trump first, went down the gold escalator, what are the pundits or the Trump supporters saying behind the scenes in the green room? It's quite often different than what they say on camera. So what are Republicans saying behind the scenes? Are they really standing with him, or are they just doing this because that's what he wants?
Well, my family's all Republicans, and I married a girl from Southern Indiana, flying there tonight, and you can imagine there's a lot of Republicans around. They feel like Donald Trump is bullshitting them. That's the sentiment right now, and what they're telling me, I've heard
Republican lawmakers feel this way.
Oh, well, so no. So
okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
The Republican base feels this way. A lawmaker, though, last week we were walking. I was walking through the Cannon Tunnel, and he was walking from the Longworth Tunnel, and they kind of meet, and he puts out his fist to fist bump me, and he goes, "Thank you," just like as a thank you, because I'd been very loudly saying, "Release the files." So it's almost like we're doing their job for them, because they're shrinking right now, and they're hiding under the bed because they don't want to stand up to Donald Trump. But I'll tell you this about his supporters. They have shoveled a lot of shit for this guy. And they have gone along with a lot of things that are hurting all of us, like the tariffs, right? Like almost every insane thing that he has said. And so he said he would end wars. He's starting wars. He said he would drive down the debt and deficit. He's adding to it. They're going along with all of the stuff, but they've snapped over this issue, and they're not going away. And the analogy I would use is that to the MAGA movement, the Epstein files is like flour to a cake. And he's telling his supporters, you have to make the cake, but substitute out the flour. And they're like, we can't do that. And so it's not going to go away. And he thinks that Congress may think we can recess until September 2nd, and people are going to forget about it. But Don, they're not forgetting about this issue. He is stuck.
Yeah. This is the Bulwark is saying this, and Access is reporting on the White House. The Bulwark is reporting on Republicans, saying this is the most panicked Republicans have been in years. Do you get that sense?
Yes, because the Epstein files, to many of his supporters, represent the crazy ass conspiracy theories that QAnon and MAGA world have peddled for years. And so this is the one they've been waiting for. This is, what they were promised. He did not promise to take 17 million people off of Medicaid, but he did promise that he would give them the Epstein files. Now, I think Democrats, we have to be careful, because this is not about like a prurient interest to just see what's in them for the sake of seeing what's in them. Like our pursuit here, and I went back to make sure I was intellectually honest on this. And in 2019, I was calling for Andrew Acosta, the labor secretary, to be fired for his role with Epstein. Our interest here is to protect victims, right? And there were real wrongs that happened to little girls because of what these predators did. And so this is about accountability, not just airing out the names for the sake of airing out the names. And I think we have to be careful, not to be perceived as overshooting on that.
Yeah. And the White House. Do you hear anything of what's going on at the White House? Because they're saying, again, the reporting is that Donald Trump is spiraling. The White House in general spiraling because they don't know how to contain this massive forest fire that has engulfed them.
Right. And to further the natural disaster analogy, right? We're going into hurricane season. Texas is still suffering, from its flood disaster. We've found out that FEMA's not up for the job. And he's had his eyes taken completely off the ball because of this issue. So this is now a governing distraction for him. Yeah.
I know you got to go. You got to go. Last words.
You asked me to come on, and I said yes. And it's a lesson to not, to trust your staff and check in with them. So I double booked, but I made you the priority.
Damn it. No, I just want to say to you that, look, this is very important. This is a very important story. And I just want to know if you think that this is what breaks the spell of the MAGA cult.
I think people in his movement are coming to terms with the fact that Donald Trump is a 24 karat bullshitter. Now, the question is also out there, like, is Elon Musk telling the truth about Trump's role in these files? That we will only learn when the files come out. So either he was bullshitting us that there were names in the files that he was going to release, or he's hiding them, and Republicans in Congress are enabling this because of something he doesn't want us to know about that he did. It's one of those two.
Yeah. Go back to work.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
See you, Don.
All right.
See you, legends.
I'll send you one of these, okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. Before he came on, he said he loved the hat. So we're gonna make sure that Congressman Eric Swalwell gets a hat. So look, guys, he said it, and I tend to agree with him about the Republicans know that Donald Trump is a #1 bullshit artist. And now they are crashing out, and he is crashing out as well. Let's bring in some of the legends, and then we're going to, a little bit later on, stand by. Brian Tyler Cohen is going to join us from the Brian Tyler Cohen Show. Legends, welcome one and all. I know you guys have nothing to say on this story, right? I mean, this is something that you guys don't really care about. And I am joking. I am joking. Hi, Jennifer Griffin. I want to hear from you on what you think is happening. Make sure you guys are not muted when I come to you. I want to know what you think of what is going on with this story and the White House. And then we'll get into the whole Barack Obama of it all in a bit, but we'll save that. What do you think?
Good afternoon, Don.
Hello.
This is the culmination of years of misinformation being pumped into people via Fox News and other right-wing media. This was the inevitable conclusion of Roger Ailes, back in the day, saying that, he needed to have, from a conservative point of view. No, it's just lying. That's what it is. They've been lying to people, primarily white people, for the last 50 years that Fox has been in existence. And this is the logical conclusion of all of that lying.
Andrea Pickney, I want to know if you've been paying close attention to this story, and remember that mute button. But Andrea, you paying attention, and what say you? Again, we're going to save the Barack Obama of it all till later. So you heard what Congressman Eric Swalwell said. So good evening to you.
Yes, I heard Congressman. Hi, Don. How are you?
I'm great.
Well, the one thing that keeps coming to my mind are the people that were affected, the young ladies that they molested or put into trafficking rings. Where are they? I want to know if any of them, except for, I know the one came out and they didn't believe her, and the one that committed suicide, but I know they have affected a lot of women. Donald Trump being a liar is not new information. That's not new at all. I've always felt that there are so many people names on the list that he associates with. That's why the list has not come out. Him doing something horrible. I've seen a picture of him kissing a 16-year-old, and I have the video, and I sent it to one of my friends, and I'm trying to keep my mouth shut somewhat, but I want the girls to come out too.
Yeah. Kim Page, were you surprised when you heard that Donald Trump was on the Epstein list from that Wall Street Journal story yesterday when it broke?
Hi, Don. No, I don't think any of us are surprised. I am surprised, though, that we're hearing a lot of this coming from the Wall Street Journal and Murdoch. It will be interesting to see if he ends up being the downfall of Trump, the person he created, right? Mm-hmm. So this, I find it ironic. It could be his base that finally turns this around. And I'm hoping that this season 2 of this reality show nightmare we've been witnessing for the last 6 months will end in a season finale that we can all celebrate. That's what I'm hoping.
I don't know if you heard my discussion on this, where I said it's always the thing that you least expect, or usually the thing that you least expect that takes you down. And I think last time in our conversation, I said, I don't know if this is the thing that drives him from office, but this is just the beginning. This is only the beginning, even after the bombshell. Yeah, it's only the beginning.
Who knew?
Who knew? And by the way, the Wall Street Journal has been very tough on Donald Trump. I have to give it to them. So that's, interesting to watch that.
Yeah.
Kyle Russell, were you surprised that Donald Trump was, according to the Wall Street Journal, on the Epstein list?
Not
And
at
I
all.
love the hat. Oh my gosh, look at you.
I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, because look at how long they've been telling lies, and it's a lie after lie after lie. He can't cover what the last lie that he told. He's in the sewer, and so is the White House. They're trying to spin it. They can't get out of it, and that's the opportunity for us to just keep the conversation going. We have at least 30 days to keep this alive, and it's important that we do that.
Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure, go for it.
I think that people are wondering, perusing about whether or not Donald Trump was involved in these illicit activities. The victims, there have been victims who have come out and said that they were abused by Trump. Why aren't we listening to them? Why are we going, oh, well, we don't know whether he did anything or not. He's in their files, but we don't know if he did anything. The victims have already implicated him.
Well, because it's not been adjudicated. These are accusers at this point. There's a difference between an accuser and a victim. And look, I'm not saying that, I'm not refuting you. I'm just trying to keep us from getting sued. And I also want to be factual as a journalist. So there's a difference between an accuser and someone in a case that has been adjudicated where he was found liable in a civil court, right? But in a criminal court or anything, he has not been tried or prosecuted for any of this. And that's why people are saying, well, they don't, and no one knows what's in the file. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just telling you that is legally the facts. No response.
Well, it just makes it seem like we're not believing the victims when they have described contact with him in excruciating detail that they could not have known if they had not had contact with him. What I'm saying is that the media is just saying, oh, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, without qualifying it by saying, but victims have come out and said that he had contact with them, instead of just leaving it like, we don't know that.
Who wants to weigh in on this? I think that's a good point. I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying that I don't believe the victims. I'm just telling you journalistically and legally what it is. Is that Bob with this hand up?
Yes, Don,
ahead, Bob.
I agree with Jennifer. And it's ridiculous to think that, as far as Epstein is concerned, to expect that Donald Trump is not involved is ridiculous.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Someone else had their hand up. Who's that with the baseball cap? I can't see. Go ahead.
Katie.
Hi, Katie. Is that Katie? Hi.
Oh, Katie.
You're muted. Yeah, Katie, I think you have a bad signal. We can't hear you. Are you there?
It says you're unmuted, Katie, but we still can't hear you, so I'm not sure why.
You may have to go out and come back in because your signal is not working, okay? So Katie and everybody, stand by. We'll get Katie back up and working, but first, listen, I want to get this in, and then we could come back and continue to talk to our legends, okay? Here's a word from our sponsors. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from Lean. Have you heard of Caralluma? It is an edible cactus that grows in India, and it's a natural appetite suppressant. Caralluma is one of the key natural ingredients doctors used in a remarkable weight loss supplement called Lean, L-E-A-N. If you've got a bold summer weight loss goal, but injections just aren't your thing, here's what the doctors behind Lean say. They believe that this supplement is the closest they've come to replicating the effects of those popular injections. Lean is designed to help you maintain healthy blood sugar and curb your appetite and cravings. But it also helps to burn fat by converting fat into usable energy. No needles, just real natural results. It is a smarter way to lose weight powered by ingredients like Caralluma. So let's get you started with 20% off. Just use the code LEMON20 at takelean.com. That's lemon20 at takelean.com. Takelean.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and it is not a substitute for care from a healthcare provider. Always check with your healthcare provider. Support for the Don Lemon Show today also comes from 120 Life. High blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for death worldwide. 1 in 2 adults has it. That means there's a 50% chance someone you love is at risk right now. Now, my friend recently took 120 and her blood pressure dropped within 2 weeks. That's why I'm talking about this to you today. 120 Life is a blend of delicious superfruit juices designed to naturally lower blood pressure. It also supports conditions like diabetes and overall cardiovascular health. It's recommended by hundreds of doctors, and it's easy to track your progress at home with a simple monitor. For a limited time, you can try 120 Life and save 20% off. Use the code DON, D-O-N, at checkout at 120life.com. They offer a risk-free trial with a full refund if you don't see improvements in 2 weeks. This is your health. Don't wait. Go to 120life.com and use the code DON to save 20%. That's 120life.com. All right, back to the program. And thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Did we get Katie fixed? Katie, are you there? Is it better? We cannot hear Katie.
I don't think so. I know. Oh, wait. There she is.
No, can't hear Katie. Okay, go ahead. Who's that, Mo?
No, I know Anitra had her hand raised.
Yeah, go ahead, Anitra.
So what I was going to say is that we understand that he's in the files. Next, we already knew that. We have to have proof, just like I would want proof from me. So I get that. But I'm going to tell you this. I've been knowing from the beginning. I don't know how I know. The call coming from inside the house. He's looking out the window and in the deep state, and somebody's behind him. So it's going to come out. And everything's going to come the way it's supposed to. And Congress can run and hide till September, which I think is crazy. And they work for us, so I don't know how they're allowed to do that. But let them go on. September is only a month away. And we're going to be right back to it. So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to have to pee or get off the pot.
Yeah. Mr. Brim, don't you think that by postponing this, I agree with what Tom Tillis is saying, who is Tom Tillis is a Republican. I agree with what he's saying. He said, you know what? This is going to be like The Walking Dead. Every time you try to get rid of one, another one pops up. To wait until September.
Yeah, and I think, Donald Trump has the stamina to wait it out. I mean, look at all the lawsuits, all those lawsuits that he just walked away from. We were all waiting with bated breath, and we were all waiting to finally see get his due, and it didn't happen. And I'm afraid this is going to be the same. I mean, he's already been convicted with the Eugene Carroll situation. He's already paid the porn stars, so obviously he has sexual habits that were maybe enhanced with Epstein's little circle. But I'm just, very skeptical anything's going to happen, because what's going to happen? It's going to keep going up, and then it's going to go to the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court has ruled against much more heinous things than this. I mean, not to mention the girls. I don't mean to discredit or diminish what those girls went through. Whoever was in part of that, I believe they will go to hell, if not get punished here on earth. But on top of that, just taking the Meals on Wheels and the SNAP programs and all that stuff, everything they do is unconscionable.
Yeah. Well,
So
stand
I
by.
guess
I
I'm
want you
just
to stand
trying
by.
to say
for a
nothing
second.
is.
I want you all to stand
Nothing-
by for a second. Stand by, legends. I appreciate it. I want to bring in now Brian Tyler Cohen, New York Times bestselling author and the host of the Brian Tyler Cohen Show on YouTube. Brian, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing well. This is a big story, and it is. I think it deserves the attention that it is getting. And are you surprised by the Republicans and the White House's efforts to sweep this under the rug or to tamp it down?
Am I surprised that the entire Republican Party has shown themselves to be a wholly owned subsidiary of Donald Trump, and that From the moment they recognize that Trump is implicated in these files, they did everything they could to go back on the things that they promised they would do during the campaign and throw all of their weight behind helping him. Yeah, I am shocked. This is my shocked face. No, I mean, the reality is that this is what they always do. These people exist to serve Donald Trump. They genuflect at the altar of the God King, and they will show time and time again that there's no I mean, we are talking about accountability for people in files related to a pedophile ring.
Mm-hmm.
If this isn't enough to get them to pull their, to pull their heads out of Trump's ass, I truly don't know what else there would be.
Mm. This meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell today I'm surprised that they want to go through it, and I shouldn't be surprised, right? That they actually want to go through with it. But I think I think that they want to figure out what she knows. They want to get ahead of it before lawmakers, Congress. Obviously, that's why Mike Johnson said, "Hey, go home a day early." They want to get their story straight and then offer her maybe a deal for something to shut up, or then a pardon. And they're just trying to get a plausible sort of explanation as to why Donald Trump is not guilty, because she is not guilty. And there are, free Ghislaine Maxwell shirts that are happening now. Republicans are starting to say, "Oh my gosh, she should be free," that she is now a victim.
Look, the administration sprinted over to Ghislaine Maxwell because they recognized that the dam was breaking in Congress. There was just a vote in a subcommittee in the House Oversight Committee to compel the release of the Epstein files. That was 8-2. They had some Republican defectors. They recognized that every time the Democrats get them on record to try and vote this thing up or down, it's a miserable vote. And Republicans did it twice in the Rules Committee, twice on the House floor, twice on the Senate floor, both times at the hands of Senator Mullen from Oklahoma. But it sucks to have to make these votes because, in effect, they're just covering for Donald Trump as he's implicated in the Epstein files. And they don't want to do this anymore. These votes are hard. Marjorie Taylor Greene herself said that she's getting a boatload of calls from her office, disproportionately on this issue. Like 95 out of 100% of calls are on this issue. And so they can't run this game forever. The dam is breaking in Congress. They need to get to Maxwell before Congress can. And we already know that Congress is going to be meeting. I spoke with the ranking member on the Oversight Committee today, Robert Garcia. And so they're ironing out the details of that meeting, but it's supposed to take place somewhere around August 11th. And so, of course, there was a vested interest in the DOJ, in Todd Blanche getting to her before they could, because if Todd Blanche can offer her some type of a deal, then they can get her story straight before she goes and talks to Congress. And so if she has any incriminating information on Donald Trump, now would be a good time to conveniently forget that information before she sits down with Robert Garcia and any other Democratic members of the House Oversight Committee. But really, if the DOJ wanted accountability, and that's the pretext they're giving for this. They're saying we're meeting with her because we hear you and we want to give you the accountability that you're demanding. If they wanted accountability, if they wanted accountability, transparency, they would release the files. They've got the files. They're at Pam Bondi's disposal. She's held on to those, but is now doing some secret meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. So which one actually offers transparency and accountability? Is it hanging on to the files, but going to have a secret meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the only person alive right now who has all of the incriminating information that may implicate Donald Trump? Or would it just be releasing the files? I would presume it's the latter, but that's not what we're getting from this administration.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you with any of it. And I've been saying very similar things at what you just said on this program since I heard that they wanted to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Not to belabor the point, and I apologize before I play this, but I want your reaction to this because it's very relevant to what we're discussing right now. This is Greg Kelly. Do you know Greg Kelly? Suggesting that
Newsmax?
Yes, suggesting that Ghislaine Maxwell is a possible victim here. It is.
Blanche is the Deputy Attorney General, the #2 ranking official in the Justice Department, and he's about to meet with Jeffrey Epstein's ex-girlfriend in prison, Ghislaine Maxwell, to find out what she knows. Let's find out, what is this all about? And she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she's in jail for how long now? 20 years, a 20-year sentence. Well, Alan Dershowitz is one of the greatest attorneys who ever lived, and he has this to say about the Ghislaine Maxwell situation, speaking with Newsmax veteran Eric Bolling.
Oh, yeah, I want you to hear this, Brian.
Should Ghislaine Maxwell be behind bars?
She shouldn't be, but she is. She is really serving Jeffrey Epstein's sentence after he committed suicide. There was no one else to prosecute because there was no real information against anybody else. And so they went after her and they sentenced her to a sentence that would have been appropriate for Epstein, but not at all appropriate for her. And so she's appealing now, and I hope the appeal will be granted. She deserves to be out.
All right, you get the point there. You get the point. I'm not going to belabor the situation. Ghislaine Maxwell was indicted on several counts, including allegations that she enticed a minor to travel, engage in illegal activity, conspired to entice a minor to travel for illegal activity, transported a minor with the intent to engage in criminal activity, conspired to transport criminal activity, committed perjury by making false statements during sworn depositions in 2016, and other things. So your response, please.
I mean,
your jaw's on the ground.
I'm like almost speechless. It is so. The notion. I mean, this is the perfect encapsulation of the victimhood mentality that just encompasses the modern day MAGA right. That the most depraved people on earth, of which I would include Ghislaine Maxwell, who helped her boyfriend traffic kids, children, young girls, so that pedophiles could fuck these kids. Like, what are we even talking about here? But I'm almost glad that we're hearing these people say these things out loud. And of course, it's all in deference to the God King, right? It's all in deference to Trump. I'm almost glad that we're able to hear these people say these things out loud, because for the rest of America, who is not in this camp of, okay, whatever we have to do to protect Donald Trump, we'll do, we'll say, we'll rally behind. And for everybody else that isn't so far up his ass that they can't even see 2 inches in front of them, so far up his ass that they can't touch his molars, the rest of America can say, like, whoa, maybe this isn't the political party that I want to align myself with, that is right now calling the girlfriend of a notorious famed pedophile a victim in this situation. So look, if that's the hill that these guys want to die on, far be it from me to stop them. But I think it's absolutely incumbent on us to do what you just did, which is to air their words for everybody to see.
Yeah. What's interesting to me, I know we have you for a little bit longer. What's interesting for me is I had been watching some of the manosphere, the right-wing bros, especially the business bros, and a lot of them have been bending over backwards to try to make up excuses and say, well, just because they hung out and then did this, and then what about Bill Clinton, and what about Barack Obama? And then there was a judge that didn't want to release the files. And I'm like, no, not the files, the grand jury testimony. Those are two different things. That's a head fake from Pam Bondi. But do you know PBD podcast? I hate to do this to you, but they're not convincing everyone, because the guy who's usually the most unreasonable seems kind of reasonable here. Here it is. Play it.
Vinny, your thoughts with the story on what's going on here? The more and more they're trying to like distract us and put us over here and look over here. Listen, I hate to even say it, but maybe, just maybe, Elon Musk was right. Maybe Elon was right. What was it, in June? He tweeted out of nowhere, Trump doesn't want it released because Trump is on that list or whatever. By the way, and again, this doesn't mean he did anything. He admitted, yeah, I knew him. Yeah, whatever. There's footage of him. There's footage of you hanging out with him, with Melania, with whatever person he was with. That's okay. Back then, everybody was hanging out. Everybody was chilling. You just don't want your name involved. This is the worst. You nailed it. The worst fumble. Just say, yes, I was around him. We were in Manhattan. We were all rich. We're all doing it. I didn't know what the hell to the extent of what he was doing. And once he got convicted for pedophilia, that's when I broke everything off. Just because your name is in there doesn't mean you're guilty. Okay, I think that's what they're trying to freaking cover up. Because and Pat, not to go backwards if you don't mind, the the Barack thing, the Barack Obama, I think it's a distraction. But at the same token, why is everybody pissed off? Everybody in the View and everybody's mad. Oh, how dare you go after the next president? He's not untouchable. Look at the precedent they set.
End it right there. And Donald Trump is not untouchable as well. Does that mean that Donald Trump is not untouchable? I mean,
no. See, no. That's totally different. Donald Trump is untouchable. Barack Obama is not untouchable. Don't get it twisted. Look,
but he was almost there, Brian. Almost
there.
Almost.
I think what he doesn't understand is that the reason people are protesting going after Barack Obama is because A, there's no there, and B, it is expressly a distraction from the thing that Vinny himself was so upset about 2 seconds earlier. That's the whole thing. It's that if it was well-founded, sure. Look, I don't care about any politician. I'm not here to protect anybody. When Bob Menendez had gold bars in his closet, I was like, get that guy the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? But but propping up this Obama story, conveniently timed and completely baseless because you want to distract from the fact that your God King is implicated in the Epstein files is just so backwards, and that's why people are upset over this thing. And look, I think, you know, to his credit, I've debated Vinny on Piers Morgan's show. He is as far right, breathless defender of Donald Trump as you could possibly get. Good on him for at least coming out and saying that. Granted, he couched it with a lot of caveats, but like at least he can recognize that it's a distraction. And Trump is fumbling this. And if there was no there, Trump should take Vinny's advice and do what he's saying and just tell the truth. But it really leads us to no other conclusion other than the fact that he's got something serious to hide if he's going to jump through all of these hoops to hide it. I mean, you don't go out there and start railing about the Washington Commanders and Coca-Cola and relitigating Hillary's emails in the year 2025. Roseanne arresting Obama. I mean, my God,
Rosie O'Donnell, sorry.
Denaturalizing Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, my God, it's so transparent what he's trying to do. And I think that it's no surprise that we've got people like him and Dave Smith and Theo Von who are calling this shit out, because it could not be more apparent that Trump is just, frantically trying to get himself backed out of this corner that he's put himself in.
Just real quick in the minute or so we have left, what do you think of this Candace Owens lawsuit with Macron?
I'm like, let's go. How many kids do they have?
Are you upset with it?
No, am I upset? I mean, I think Candace Owens is one of the most depraved human beings in media. I think that can you remind me, do you know how many kids Bridget Macron has?
We can look. Producers, can you look that up for me, please? Go ahead.
I mean, like, if the hill that you want to die on is that this woman who has carried, we're going to find out in a moment how many kids she has, and that's had 2 husbands, like that she was like born, like, go for it. Die on that hill. See how much money it costs you.
3 children.
3 children. Okay.
Bastion, Lawrence, and Tiffany. Tiffany.
Yeah.
Tiffany, whatever. Yeah.
So if that's the hill you want to die on, that the mother of 3 children is not a woman, go for it. You can wage your culture war to the end of the earth. I cannot wait for, I don't know, I guess, discovery in this trial, and I hope that there are a lot of zeros at the end of that number when Bridget Macron goes forward with this defamation suit.
Brian Tyler Cohen, I love you, buddy. You're great. I don't mean that in a weird way, but you know what I mean. You do great work, and I thank you for coming on. And we kept our promise. You're right on time. Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Great talking to you, man. Talk to you soon.
Brian Tyler Cohen, the host of the Brian Tyler Cohen Show on YouTube, joining us. Hey, look, we didn't talk about that whole Candace Owens thing here, but it is one unbelievable story. Perhaps we will get to it in a moment. But before I get back to legends, are you there? Legends. Oh my gosh, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to continue to talk in legends. Where's Donald Trump's poll numbers? Where is what did Elon Musk have to say? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we played that already. Is Ghislaine Maxwell not guilty, or is she a victim? We're going to discuss with the legends. But first, a word from our sponsors. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from ZBiotics. Let me tell you about something that I always take before a night out. It is called pre-alcohol from ZBiotics. This is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic created by PhD scientists to tackle those rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets broken down into a toxic byproduct in your gut. That's what causes you to feel terrible the next day. It's not the dehydration. It's this stuff that does it. So ZBiotics pre-alcohol creates an enzyme that breaks that byproduct down. You just take it before your first drink and you let it do the work. I tried it before a dinner party just last month. Had wine, a little vodka, something. Well, I felt great the next morning, right? And it works. So ZBiotics is a 100% money-back guarantee. No questions asked. So go to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON at checkout for 15% off your first order. Again, that's zbiotics.com/lemon, code LEMON. Support today comes from Chef IQ. We've all been there, hovering over a hot grill or stove, trying to guess when the meat's done. One half ends up overcooked, the other half ends up undercooked. Those days are over. I started using Chef IQ Sense, and I'm telling you, I feel like I'm a Food Network star. Chef IQ Sense is a smart wireless sensor that you place right into your food. It connects to an app that tracks the cooking in real time, predicting the exact moment your steak, fish, or chicken is cooked just the way you like it. I just tap in what I'm cooking and how I want it, medium rare, well done, you name it, and it handles the rest for you. I can step away, entertain guests, and use my phone or whatever it is, and it tells me exactly when I'm done. Summer grilling season is here, and Chef IQ Sense just announced a flash sale. Visit chefiq.com and use the promo code LEMON for 15% off. That's chefiq.com, promo code LEMON. Thanks to our sponsors. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and thanks to our legends. Excuse me. By the way, if you're in the chat, if you're ever, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. If you're watching, because it is important and affects the algorithm, and a lot of people more people get to become aware of our channel and our conversation. And boy, the engagement has been great on this. Let's get back to the legends. You guys have been raring to go. Who didn't I hear from? Who wants to go? Who has something to say? Okay, Katie, are you better? You're gonna have to yell loud for us to
Can you hear me?
Oh, we got you. Go
Can you
ahead,
hear me?
Katie. Yes.
All right. So just hearing the thing about Maxwell, like being a victim, that, like, pardon my language, but that shit pisses me off, because just like listening to these people from Newsmax talk about how, like, oh, well, I guess she was a victim too. Like, people like that are the reason that victims aren't taken seriously. There are more people that don't file for SA than do, because they're just afraid that people will not take them seriously. And it just makes me so angry.
Understandable. And as a survivor, I understand what you mean. Trust me, I get it more than
Same.
you guys know.
Me
Did
too.
you say
Me too,
same?
Doc. Me too.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're still here. Who else is anybody else? Who has their hand up? Who haven't I heard from? Who's in the bottom right? I can't see that. Is a gentleman. I think I can't see. Go ahead. Is that TJ? Who's there? Who's in the bottom?
Terry?
Maureen raised her
Oh,
hand.
hey, I can't see. I couldn't see because it was so tiny and small. Hi, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Well, first I want to say cheers. Cheers to everybody.
I took my mug out before the show. I have to cheers you. I have to cheers you with the thing I had. Cheers. Good to see you.
I've got my other one around here somewhere. Usually I'm double fisted with coffee. But anyway, so I will say that being a multiple time survivor, as far as other people knowing, if, in my opinion, if you have credible or strong enough of a belief or evidence that someone is essaying anyone or being abusive to anyone, and you don't say something, you're just as culpable, because that's abuse in and of itself, to leave a human being in a situation like that. The second thing about all of this being released, I have come to a much more pessimistic opinion about all this. I honestly don't think any of them want it released. I really don't.
You mean Republicans, Democrats, no one?
I don't think they do. I remember when this whole thing broke in the very beginning, the names that were being called and the flight logs and, you know, allegedly people that were on the airplanes when there were children being flown over from overseas. I mean, you know, we could go down the whole rabbit hole to the very beginning, but I think that there are enough people high enough on both sides that they really don't want this released. And I really believe if the Democrats wanted it released, they'd get to somebody in that White House. Anybody up there can get anything leaked. And this isn't coming out. I don't think it's all Democrats, don't get me wrong. I think the ones speaking out are speaking out from a good place. I think they're calling for justice. But I think there are a lot of people in the background on both sides that don't want to see this
explain to you. I want to explain to you, just so you know, the reason why I think Democrats did not really, not that they didn't care, it wasn't a priority for them. They figured that the case had been tried under Donald Trump, and this is and that it had been, you know, settled. And this was a Republican right-wing MAGA conspiracy theory, that there was somehow this cabal of Democrats who had a ring a la the Pizzagate, right? With children and all of that. So I understand, you know, what you're saying, but I don't believe that. I think some of the Democrats do want it released because
I believe a lot of them do. Please, I don't. Yeah.
I think they do want it released, and I think they say let the chips fall where they may, no matter who is in there, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. And you know, and now you have some of the Republican folks, even the MAGA folks, who are saying that as well. So, yeah.
I know. I absolutely believe that there are the Democrats. I don't think that they don't care. I just think that it's so much bigger than what we could even imagine.
Well, yeah. I mean, who thought it would come to this? Who's that? Someone in the bottom left with their hands up. I can't. You guys, the tiles are like this small on the screen. Is that Maureen?
Maureen. Yeah.
Go ahead, Maureen. No, I know Maureen. I can't see Maureen is at the top. There we go. Hi, Maureen. Mute. Remember the mute button.
Go ahead, Maureen. You're muted. You're muted, Maureen.
About that. Yeah. Well, first of all, I think Ghislaine Maxwell is guilty. I don't think there's any question about that. And after all, she did traffic those young girls, and that has been settled in the courts. But I believe this is good that this is coming out right now to be looked at again. And Trump, of course, is lying. I think he's right in the middle of the whole thing. And I think it's a diversion we need. We know there's so many other things going on that need to be taken care of. But all I can think about is those young girls. They're just little girls. And obviously we don't want to bring them out, but I think they need to be vindicated. And yeah.
Ashley Linton, you had your hand up.
Hi, Don. Hi, Lemon Nation.
Hi.
So I want to say that I completely agree with the previous sentiments that there are definitely implications on both sides of the aisle. I also do want to have a lot of respect for the victims in this case, just because I think for years they have been silent, but I don't wish to see the names, but I do agree with the previous sentiments that they do need to be vindicated, and they do need to know that they have a voice here in the public that is wanting to get their reparations from this case. I mean, this is rough. This is not something easy to talk about. It's something hard to live with. People have lost their lives for this. And regardless of all the distractions, I'm never going to stop saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. I think the list needs to come out. I think we need to move forward for a cleaner America, like just more transparency, and for us to, put this behind us, because this itself is a distraction. Let's not get it twisted. Like, this is also a distraction, but it needs to be settled because the president ran on it.
You think it's a distraction? Tell me why you think it's a distraction.
I think because there are a lot of promises outside of just these Epstein files. There have been a lot of promises made to America. And I think with especially the current shakeup on both sides of the aisle, with the lack of partisanship, I just feel like there's a lot of promises that were made to especially MAGA Republicans that just are not going to be made. And I think all of this is, it's like a downward spiral happening at 140 miles per hour. It's like everything happened at once. Texas, the Epstein files. I think there's been so many promises, they're just unreal.
Yeah. I want to hear from Roseanne. Roseanne, make sure you're unmuted. What say you?
I'm unmuted. Yay. First of all, I have my Lemon Nation shirt on. Thank you.
Woohoo!
It took a hot minute to get here, but it's here and I'm wearing
Let me
it.
see, stand up a little bit. Let's see it. Let's see it. Love it. I love it. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. So a couple of things. I don't think that Ghislaine Maxwell is a victim. And last night I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell. He read a deposition transcript of a victim, and she described in detail how many quote unquote massages she gave to Jeffrey Epstein, over 100. She started when she was 14. She went into great detail. He was physically repulsed by what he was reading last night. And it was repulsive to me as well to hear what he did to this 14-year-old. She was fired and let go when she turned 18. And the reason was, and I quote, she was too old at 18. And Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her and brought her to him. So that woman is not a victim. And these young girls, even at the age of 12, were doing this stuff.
Roseanne, don't you think stories like that will is somewhat, I think, obviously it's evidence that Ghislaine Maxwell should not be pardoned, but if they do try to strike a deal with her, don't you think that even to Republicans, especially the ones who are suspicious now, they'll be like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I would hope that the Republicans were watching his show. I doubt it because, of course, it's not their person. But yeah, everybody should be repulsed by this. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Everybody should be. So.
Yeah. Momo, are you there?
There's Momo.
I am here. I'm here.
Hi.
Yeah, I watched Lawrence O'Donnell last night as well, and it brought tears to my eyes. At 15, I was date raped by somebody that I knew. And even at the age of almost 59 now, it's a feeling, having all of this come up, and even the suggestion that this woman is a victim makes me want to punch somebody, because she recruited these girls, brought them to this monster, and now you have what they're doing is they're greasing the wheels. You hear him talking about how Comey and Obama and Biden and everybody made up the files, right? So when the files come out and you see his name everywhere, he can say, well, this is a fabrication. Or you have the people like on Newsmax, the clip that you showed, trying to set her up as some sort of victim because this is all a hoax. And so when she gets some sort of a deal, they're trying to grease those wheels so that his supporters will have yet another reason to excuse this man's depraved behavior. I refuse to call anybody a Republican anymore. They're MAGA. There are no more Republicans, at least not any with where their balls have dropped so that they had the courage to speak out. So I refuse to call them the Republican Party anymore. They're MAGA. It's MAGA and Democrats. So this whole situation just makes me angry. I feel like they're just setting it up so that his supporters will continue to support them, because as far as I'm concerned, they're depraved. They're all depraved.
Momo, let me just say I'm so sorry. And I don't know exactly how you feel, but just know somewhat. I empathize as a survivor. I get it. And so I'm glad that you're still here.
Yeah, going strong. I'm good.
Good. Shannon, you're muted.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Hey, how you
Hi,
doing?
Shannon. How are you doing? Thank you for joining.
Maxwell is not a victim. My what I'm worried about right now is that the DOJ trying to make some kind of deal with her. If Trump happens to pardon her, she's going to be in the wind. We're never going to see her again. The House, we know about Mike Johnson, so he thinks this is going to go away, but it's not. It'll be waiting for him when they get back. And don't think that any of these Republicans are going to have town halls when they're back in their districts. They didn't do it last time when they were getting ready for the bill that they just pushed through, but they're not going to have any town halls, none. Because all it's going to be is Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. So he let them go thinking this is going to die down. And what we've been talking about this for about 2 weeks now. Can hold on for another 3 weeks till they get back, another 4 weeks till they get back. But I don't think anybody should be letting this go.
Yeah. I want to play
Last
this.
time I was on here 2 weeks ago, I was like, I didn't care, but I'm invested now.
Yeah, we talked about that, right? A little bit.
I'm invested now.
Yeah, because it's all of a sudden strange that he just wants to stop, right? Just don't want anything. I want to play this, and then I'm going to bring in May Money for a response on this or whatever she wants to say. But here is this is Tara Palmeri talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. She's on, I think it's MSNBC. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out,
Katie Turner.
Tara, is Ghislaine Maxwell now a victim in the eyes of the MAGA world? Is she taking the fall for powerful men? What figure is she now?
I hate when I hear that. People are saying, you know, Glenn's a victim. She's not a victim. The only way for him to have successfully created one of the largest sex trafficking operations in our country was through women. He needed her. He needed a posh, elegant, sophisticated woman to lure young girls in. And he also needed her Rolodex, frankly. He was just some guy from Coney Island who was a little rough around the edges. He taught at Dalton. She was posh. Her father owned the New York Daily News, the Daily Mirror. She was friends with Prince Andrew. She opened the doors for him, and she also groomed the girls for him. So any suggestion that she is a victim because she's the only person who is prosecuted is insane.
May Money?
Oh my God. All right. You know what? I got a lot. These people are playing in our fucking face. And I'm just wondering, have we had a fucking enough yet? Have we had enough of this? Like, these people have been playing in our face for years, and they're disgusting people, okay? Like, ending all of the story. We should have been handled this shit from a long ass time ago. I'm just so sick of these people. I mean, look at all of the survivors on here. I happen to be one of them. Like, what is there to like argue here? And as far as fuck it, We don't even have due process damn near no more in this fucking country. Jail. All these motherfuckers need to go to jail. No due process. Fuck it. You ain't giving us due process, and then you don't get it either. How about that? Actually, this dude's a felon. Jail. Okay? I'm so sick of this shit. And thanks for being on, Brian. He's like, I really love him. He's like one of my favorites. I have read his book and stuff. I think he's brilliant. Have a little crush on him. He's great. And yeah. And I saw your breakfast this morning.
Oh, randomly we said let's have breakfast, and I said, why don't we do a live? So thank you. And look, I'm glad that you're here too, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with what you had to deal with. Cherokee, how are you doing?
Hey, Don. Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Listen, I want to ask you can respond to Ghislaine Maxwell as well, but I want to put this up. Let's see. This is the new Trump Gallup polling, okay? This is the polling for Donald Trump at this point, and it is, Andy, there we go. Independents drive Trump's approval to 37%, second term low, and I think he's only second to himself in his first term. What do you think? It's 37% seems like a high to me, but you know, he's always got like 30% of support from the party.
Right. No, I think it's been fascinating to watch the crash out from all of the Epstein distractions that he's trying to do. Watching someone who has displayed narcissistic types of behaviors, and watching the predictability of where that usually goes in the crash out has been very predictable. And I'm here for it, honestly. But it definitely isn't going to be the end of it. I think Obama lawsuit is just the beginning of it. I think we're going to start seeing more and more crash outs, more and more ridiculous things that he's going to try and throw out there, just to try and get his base back on track. I think he's kind of stupefied that they're not following his instructions to shut up about it. And I think he's just extremely frustrated, and it's causing him to crash out right and left.
Mm-hmm. Bonita? Hi, Bonita. Get closer to that microphone if you can, please. No, Bonita's not working. We'll go to Peggy, and let's get Bonita. Your signal's not good, Bonita. Let's get Peggy in, and then we'll come back to Bonita. Go ahead, Peggy. You're muted.
No,
you're good. You're good now. Wait, now we can't hear you.
Is she muted?
Can you hear me now?
Boomers in your technology. Go ahead.
Okay. This is not going to bring Trump down. If everything else hasn't brought him down, this is not going to bring him down. And I'm a survivor too, family members and also Catholic priests. And I cannot believe the number of survivors we have on here today. And there's a reason for it, because Don has brought this platform together. The thing with Epstein is happening right now, and we need the victims to know that we are with them, and we are not going to fucking let this go. We're not going to let it go, and we're strong women, and also there are men victims, as Don knows, and we're not going to let this go. And I'm just so happy that we have this platform that we can talk about this, because we need to be heard. And the victims need some justice here. I mean, there are so many high-level people in the world that are involved with this pedophile ring. We would be shocked if we knew the names. We know some of them, but they need to be brought to to trial on this. That's all I have to say. They have to be brought to justice.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
all I have.
look, I'm sorry again for you, and I'm glad that you're still here. Thank you, Bonita.
I'm here.
Peggy, excuse me, Peggy, for that. Let's see, Keisha.
Hi, Don. How are you?
I'm
Um,
okay. I'm just floored listening to these stories.
Yeah, and that's what I want to touch on is how many people are survivors in our country and beyond our country who are being re-traumatized by this entire conversation and the way it's being handled and talked about so cavalierly. Like that's what's really upsetting, aside from the fact that there are people getting away with being abusers, is the way that they talk about Ghislaine Maxwell maybe being a victim, but why are we not talking about the women who have actually already come forward as victims? Like what bizarre universe are we living in? I think it was Jennifer who said, like, we're not taking people seriously who come forward as victims, and it just makes it harder for other people to report. And lastly, I'm sick of hearing about Republicans behind the scenes saying, yeah, we agree with the Democrats. This is messed up. Say it to our faces. Stop playing around with our faces. Like, stop playing in our faces and be honest.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Let's see if Bonita, are you fixed? Yeah, Bonita, you've got a really bad signal there. Your Wi-Fi is not good. Your connection is not good. But Bonita did send this. She said, sorry, no one heard me, but Maxwell is a facilitator and needs to be punished. And I'm an SA survivor also. I wish you had a better signal there. Bonita, can we get it fixed? Because I want to hear from you. And I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your membership. Okay. Let me see. Can we hear you now? No, we can't hear you. The signal's not good, Bonita. It's not working. Sorry about that. So look, everyone, legends. Thank you, legends. I quite don't know what to say with everything that I've heard today, and I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk. My goodness, every time we do these things, and look how many legends we have. Thank you. I'm so grateful. It feels like it's group therapy. Right, guys? It feels like it's group therapy. First, it was all the chaos and the taking away of the funding for people who needed, people around the world, people in our country, the deportation of people who don't have a criminal background, the lack of due process, and on and on and on, just the cruelty. And now we have them meeting with the person who has been charged in these crimes, and we don't know what's going to come out of it, and we don't know if this is going to lead to, anyone other than Ghislaine Maxwell or anyone who might be in those files actually facing some consequences for their bad behavior or their criminal activity. It's just shocking.
Don, can I say something?
Yeah, who is that? I can't.
Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi. I sometimes have minors come into my practice. I'm an abortion provider. And what I ask them is, I ask them about their partner. And I always want to find out if it's their boyfriend, what grade is he in? How did you all meet? Because a lot of times girls that young, they don't understand that it might be wrong, first of all. And another thing is that they, it's hard to say, but sometimes they're so young that, and they've been conditioned so well that they don't see the difference. And what normally happens if they're with their boyfriend who's of a normal age, they seem fine to me. They seem stable. But if there's something amiss, they seem nervous. And that's why I always try and probe them about, how's your boyfriend and what grade is he in? So there's other things that people can do as well to make sure that young girls are not being trafficked.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Jennifer, Andrea, Kim, Kyle, Bob, Katie, Anitra, Terry, Maureen, Ashley, Roseanne, Momo, Shannon, May Money, Cherokee, Bonita, Keith, and Peggy, Keisha and Peggy. Thank you guys all so much, legends. Okay. And take care of yourselves out there and stay informed. Okay. We appreciate it. Those are our Lemon Legends, the highest tier. Can we get a round of applause for our Lemon Legends, the highest tier of our membership? And we're so glad that they are with us and we're with them as well. Okay. Let me talk to, amen. Let me show you, I just want to show you the difference, everyone, between what Democrats are doing and Republicans are doing. These are the Democrats voting no on concealing the Epstein files. Watch.
Call the roll on the Cornyn amendment.
Mr. Grant.
Aye.
Mr. Cornyn.
Aye.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Mr. Cruz. Aye. Mr. Hawley. Aye. Mr. Tillis. Aye. Mr. Kennedy.
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Blackburn.
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Schmidt. Aye.
No.
Mrs. Britt.
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Moody. Aye. Mr. Durbin.
No on concealing the Epstein files.
Mr. Whitehouse.
No.
Ms. Klobuchar.
No by proxy.
Mr. Cruz.
No by proxy.
Mr. Blumenthal.
I vote no because I vote no on concealing the Epstein file.
Ms. Rhoda.
No by proxy.
Okay.
Mr. Booker.
I vote no on this effort to conceal the Epstein files.
Mr. Padilla.
No, I'd like the Epstein files.
Mr. Schiff.
No on concealing the Epstein files.
Chairman Grassley.
Aye.
On this vote, the ayes are 12, the nays are 10.
Okay, the Cornyn amendment is adopted.
So they voted to conceal in the end. Interesting. Here are Republicans. This is Markwayne Mullin voting to block a resolution on the Epstein file.
As we hear my colleague from Arizona use, I'd say, very liberal truths to what he was saying by not giving all the facts, I'd also propose a question. Where was all this outrage over the last 4 years when Director Wray was over the FBI and Attorney General Garland was over the DOJ? He knows, I know, and all the Democrats know that if there was anything to do with President Trump, they would have happily released it. My Lord, you went after him for everything else you could possibly think of. Why wouldn't you possibly go after this? Well, it's because this is nothing but political theater. We know that.
Pause, please.
We know
Maybe it's
that
because Democrats as a whole don't go after their political enemies. Democrats do a great job of eating their own, but they don't usually go after their political enemies. And Joe Biden promised not to do it. Let's just go down memory lane. Remember, Joe Biden promised not to go after political enemies. He also promised to let the Justice Department do their job, and he would not have influence on the Justice Department. Does anybody remember that? But I mean, it's weird. We forget the times that we had a normal president with some integrity and morals sitting in the Oval Office who said, this is not what this office was meant to do. Not go back, not go out and try to hurt or prosecute your political enemies. So this matter had been taken care of pretty much when Donald Trump was president the first time. So it should be obvious to people like Markwayne Mullin that there wasn't this vindictive streak of a Democrat in office going back in time and into the files and saying, well, let's find something that we can get Donald Trump for. Now, Democrats were upset because they thought they should have prosecuted Donald Trump earlier, Merrick Garland, and he didn't do it again because Joe Biden said the Justice Department should be independent and I'm going to let them do their thing. They're part of the justice or judicial branch. It's not part of the executive branch. I'll let the legislative branch do their thing as well. So we forget that time. And Markwayne Mullin is actually making a point that he doesn't even understand that he's making because he's being so political. Okay. And then, by the way, what he forgets is that this was never a Democratic edict or cause. This is not something that the Democrats are focused on. This is what his own party and the MAGA folks were focused on, and Donald Trump, not the Democrats. So I don't, God, how do these people get to these offices? I mean, the logic is just, well, it's not logical. But let's let him continue for a little bit.
Resolution does is it doesn't actually have transparency, because we all want transparency. All of us want transparency. We want to know actually what happened. The American people want to know what's happened. But what this resolution does is it actually is a blurred line between the separation of powers. When we start dictating to the Department of Justice what they can and can't do, there's a clear separation of power. We're the legislative branch.
Okay. Can we pause? Do you understand the separation of power? Because the executive branch is supposed to have that same separation of power. And the executive branch has undue influence over the Justice Department, which that branch should not. I just told you how Joe Biden treated it, and pretty much every other president before Donald Trump. And he doesn't understand that there's a separation. Unbelievable. He thinks that there's not a separation between the legislative branch and the legislative. The legislative branch actually holds the purse strings, and the legislative branch should have more of an oversight, I believe, on the judicial branch. Anyways, enough of him. So there you have it, everybody. There you have it. And that is the hypocrisy and the delusion from the MAGA party now. Okay? So if you guys want to know where you can get us, where you can catch us, everything about this program, all you have to do is go to donlemon.com, and all of our information is up there. There it is, donlemon.com. All of our information is up there. So check it out. You can check out our merch store. You can check out where, if you want to get us streaming, if you want to check out all of our platforms, it is right there at donlemon.com. Also at donlemon.com on August 12th, I will be with DL Hughley. We will be at City Winery right here in New York City. 7:30, the show starts. Doors open at 6:30, backed by popular demand, DL and DL. Anything Goes, episode 2. Buy the tickets. They're selling out. Okay? So I'm so glad that you're here. Today was a bit of a heavy show, but I'm glad we got through it. And I'm glad that survivors who were with us got to tell their stories. And we have to remember there are victims here. There are victims. These are people behind just the numbers and all of the mishigas that is going on about releasing the files and not releasing the files, whether Donald Trump is in it. There are real victims that we must remember. So you can be informed without being inundated. So until I see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time for Hot Topics right here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will